is my partner Antonio. We've done probably about
Awesome.
3 flips together.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, how you doing, Jackie? You doing okay?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's Saturday, which is nice. I've been getting some reading in, got some chores done. Now
Yep.
we're mixing in a little bit of real estate, so I'm pumped.
Yeah.
There's this little picture. This picture behind me is one of me and Caleb flips that's on the market now.
Oh, no way. That's
Yep.
rad.
Yeah, it's one of our flips. We call this house North Pole. Uh,
Yeah?
yeah, North Pole because the guy who owned it used to be the Santa Claus of the neighborhood,
No way.
and and Caleb can tell you this. He actually got some Christmas trees in the backyard that we decided to keep. So it's a nice house, beautiful house.
That's so cool. It looks nice too. A nice big lot.
Yep, nice big lock. Yeah, it's a beautiful house. So we like to name these properties so that we can keep up with them because we do so many of them. So I say it's best to me name houses. It helps for the contractors as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
it's more fun that way.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're an agent out there in Cali, right?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sure am. I've been an agent since September.
Oh,
September of last year.
hmm
Oh, so you came in, Caleb. She actually came in a month after they changed the rules from
The
the dual
commission.
agency type thing. So
mhm.
so how's that working for you guys out there in California now you just represent one side. So how's that working now, especially now
Yeah.
what everyone's saying out there?
And are you talking sort of about like the commissions and how
Yeah,
that all
yeah,
changed? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Basically, I've been trained because I didn't know anything prior, is just to make sure that once I'm bringing on a client that I communicate
yeah,
that they're responsible for my commissions if I'm on the buyer side.
yep,
And then with the seller, just making sure or clarifying if they want to if they're okay receiving any offers that include the buyer's commission, or if they're going to be strictly like, no, I'm not covering it. So for me, what I know is just I just have to be open and direct about who's covering what commission.
hmm
Um, so luckily for me, I don't know any better, but it does sound like it used to be pretty cool.
yeah.
Because like on the MLS, you can't put the commissions or anything on there.
No, you can't.
Um,
So
mm,
the 20 years I've been in real estate now, so I'm used to it regardless. But when they decide to implement this new law, um, I was like, okay, well, I see the benefit of it, but I would say this here: people who just want to get their house sold, especially sellers like me and Caleb. No, we got in our commission, not commission, we got in our numbers that we're paying both sides regardless.
mhm.
It's within our numbers. When we run our numbers, we're paying both sides. Now, I guess when it comes to a private seller, they probably can't afford that. Who knows? But to be honest with you, it hasn't slowed anything down. Things are still rolling. Things are still going strong.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is perspective because I've talked to a couple of agents where it's like, oh, that killed me and my business just went down the drain. But then there are others who are thriving. So it's just
Yeah.
about mindset.
Yep.
Well, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, Caleb? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you
I,
as
I,
well.
I like the hat.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. See if y'all can see me.
Yeah, yeah, I see it, Caleb.
Okay, good deal. All right, well, we're going to talk about something interesting today. We're going to talk about the Morby Method. And this is good because my partner needs to know about it anyway.
Let's go, buddy.
All right, Morby Method. First of all, my name is Caleb Miles. As you can see right there, it's my wife. We've been married for about 20 years now. We've got about 5 kids, and we like to travel. As you can see, that is LA. We were just out there a few weeks ago and attended a workshop, and we decided to drive the coast a little bit and see a little bit of the sights. But anyway, we like real estate. The guy right there to the left is Mr. Pace Morby himself. I got the privilege to go spend a day with him back in October of last year, and actually get to see him in person and get to know him as a human being. Everybody sees him on YouTube, but he is a real guy with a real family, and pretty cool. He is the one that I first learned of the Morby Method. It's been called other things. Seller carryback is probably one of the most common. Also, seller holdback. And then my other mentor, Mr. Ryan Schroep, to the right. Let's see if I can move this out of the way real quick. He is one of my mentors. Can y'all see him?
Yeah. I see him, Caleb.
Okay, I wasn't sure if this thing was in the way. Hold on one second. Okay, he calls it the stack method. He calls it the stack method because you're actually stacking two loans, one on top of the other. We have a TC in the house. Below, bottom right is Chelsea. She handles all of our transactions. And another one of my partners there to the left is Mr. Kevin Cho. So we got several different capital partners in our company, and we get deals done. I wanna go into the Morby method because it's an exit strategy, you know, that a strategy that an investor can use to take down a property. And one of the things that Mr. Pace likes to do is buy properties with no money out of pocket. We like to take down properties subject to. Me and my partner Antonio, who's on the call with me now, we've acquired a property where we live now with a 2.5% interest rate. So I've done it. It is possible, and we're probably not going to let that property go. That being said, Morby method, you would not want a subject to doing this. This is a way that you can acquire property whenever the seller actually wants more money than what you're trying to get down. Whenever you want to buy a property with creative finance, usually most of the creative buyers want in the deal for less than 10%. And if you can't negotiate that with a seller finance or subject to, then a Morby method is another option. So let's get into it. So with the Morby method, say you have a house and pretend the picture of me there is the seller. We want to buy this house and they're wanting $500,000. Well, whenever the normal person goes and buys a house, you normally get a loan, either a hard money loan, a DSCR loan, which is a debt service coverage ratio loan that they come in and usually buy a rental property. It's an investor loan. Conventional is another way. Anytime you get a loan, anybody that's ever bought anything like a house or property, they usually only want to give you about 75-80% loan to value. So to buy this house for $500,000, we'll just go with the 80% rule. You would be able to get a loan for $400,000. That means you need a down payment for $100,000, and you can do that one of two ways. You can come up with the $100,000 yourself, or you can find a partner or an investor to partner with you and take the house down. Another way, we're going to take that away, is you can actually borrow that money from the seller. This only works if there's plenty of equity in the property. So you can't do this if this is a low equity deal, because there's got to be enough equity in the property that that you can make the strategy work. So let's, for example, take this house. It's $500,000. They owe $250,000 as a loan on this property. Say they bought it, 5, 6, 10 years ago, and they built enough equity that the house is now worth $500,000. So the equity total would be $250,000. So if you were to buy the house for $500,000, they would have a loan for $250,000, and they'd have equity $250,000. So we're gonna show you how you can actually take this property down with the seller getting more money in his pocket than he would if you were just going to come in and take it over subject to, and then seller finance the rest. So the breakdown on this strategy is that if you bought the house for $500,000, you go to the title company and the $250,000 pays off the mortgage, and then they would get $250,000 in their bank. So they would walk away with $250,000 if we were just to buy the house outright. The way we're going to want to structure it is where we come in and we fund the down payment ourselves for you, the private money with a private money. I say call it a loan. We'll do what's called the down payment. We'll pay the $100,000 for you, but what we're going to do is we're going to get the buyer to actually seller finance the down payment. So if he would take $400,000 and seller finance the $100,000, and we can come in and fund the $100,000, and then what they do is they actually will, the title company will create a promissory note, which would be put in second position, and you can structure it in several different ways. Where that promissory note, where they get paid $1,000 a month for the next 5 years, which would be $60,000 if they didn't take any interest rate. This is just an example. And then after 5 years, you just pay out a balloon. You'd be able to refinance the house out and then pay them their $40,000. Whatever extra strategy that you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to use it as a rental or even a flip, which would be even less than 5 years. But anyway, I wanted to kind of break this down for you because, and I probably did a poor job at it, but if you look at the way this is all written out, the down payment would actually be funded to purchase this deal, but during title, we would charge like a 2.5% rate on the $100,000 and get that $100,000 back. And then the promissory note itself would be like creating the money out of thin air because you created debt on the house and you're able to take the project over. And I wanted to have several people on the call, so if there's any questions, I could answer it. Antonio, I know you got questions, so let's get you on here.
All right, you can hear me now, Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay, I have myself on mute. Did you take down the slide?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you took it out? Okay.
But I can.
Yeah, that Morby method, like you said, is a little bit more effective on a property that has a lot more equity. Meaning someone had to have 15 plus years, right?
Right.
So it's not going to work as well on a sub two. Meaning they bought the house in 21 for $500,000, and now they owe 480. You know, so
Right.
It's really not that much. So I would ask you this question here. So I'm just gonna take your example here with what you got here. You're gonna get a loan for $250, correct? And
you'd actually get a loan for $400
for
because
$400. Okay, you got you got a loan for $400, and the house. Well, it's $500 for the house, $250 for the loan, and your equity is $250,000. So
Right.
you're gonna get a loan for $400.
Right.
Right. So $250 is gonna go towards the sellers, correct?
Right.
All right. So where's the other $150 coming from?
So whenever you purchase the house, the seller is getting $500,000.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what the house is being purchased for.
Yeah.
So they're getting $500,000.
Okay.
So say the $250 pays off the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
$250 went to their bank. Sales complete, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. So what we're going to do at title is we're going to create a promissory note that says the down payment for this loan that I funded, because I'm not going to keep it there. I mean, I'm not trying to be a private money lender and just let them pay me over 5 years. I want my money back. This is just to get the transaction done. Okay. So I'm funding the $100,000 so the transaction will be closed. Okay. I'm not going to give the seller the $100,000. The $100,000 is going to come back to my company. But the investor still wants this house. So the way that he's able to get it is the seller would keep the 150K because the loan was for 400. All right, so 250 plus 150 equals 400.
Yep.
So the loan gives him the $400,000.
So he leased from day one. He put 150K in his pocket.
From day one, he put 150K in his pocket.
Okay.
The $100,000 the buyer didn't have. So he came to me and said, "Hey, Caleb, can I borrow your $100,000? I'll pay you 2.5% to get this deal done. And then whenever we get to title, the $500,000 will pay off the seller's mortgage of 250K. And then the seller will get 150K.
Yep.
And your 100K will go back to you. And the title company will create a promissory note that'll put the house in second position to where the buyer still has to pay back that 100,000, but you'll pay it back as a seller finance note. And that can be structured for the next 30 years, the next 5 years, and then do a balloon. Whatever the negotiation needs to be, because why would a seller do this? Well, say the seller has several houses that they own, and the seller says, "Hey, I need to put my kid through college. It's going to cost $100,000 to send them to Harvard." So I can't just seller finance it to you, even though, and then you just take over my payment because I actually need money, and 10% ain't going to cut it.
No, I would cut it.
Yeah. So I need at least 100,000. So one of the things you could do is you can fudge these numbers around as long as the house appraises for the number. You could say, "Hey, I'll buy the house for 525. If you'll give me 0% interest, you're getting an extra $25,000, and you'll get paid out within the next 5 years because we'll make it on the promissory note to where this balloon ends, and we have to find some other way to get you paid."
And that's why we love real estate, Caleb, because we can layer this thing down. We can structure it however we want. And
Right.
It goes back to your question, why would someone do this, right?
Right.
And we've been doing real estate long enough to know that people whatever motivation they got at that moment to do a deal like this here is out there. And then once you come across that deal, then you don't hit a jackpot. So I know there's many people that will do this deal. Now, when it comes to the regular seller, yeah, we might gotta explain it a little different. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of break it down to them in language terms, but yeah, I get it, buddy. I get it 100%.
Yeah. But
I have a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
So, so in the beginning, you said that, I think you said let's show the seller how they can get more than they expect. So basically, that would come in the form of the interest on that seller note. Like that would be part of the pitch of structuring the deals. Like, hey, you're going to get actually X more because we're going to pay you interest on those payments. Is that what you're meaning to say?
Yeah, well, you can structure the promissory note in whatever way it gives them an incentive to do this deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, if you were to go get a loan to do this deal, right now you're looking at 7%, for conventional average, between 6 and 7, right? So, for me to go get $100,000 and actually pay for that amount, get them to finance that to me, they could actually say, "Hey, I want 6% or I want 7% on this $100,000."
Mm-hmm.
Or you could say, "You know what? I'm not going to actually carry this for 30 years. I'm going to actually probably refi this out and sell this house in 3 years or 5 years." So if you were to get this 6% over the course of 30 years, you would make X amount. If I refi this out, then you're not going to get hardly any of that interest because you're only going to be able to get that for the next 3 to 5 years.
Mhm.
But if I raise the purchase price up to the amount of interest that you would get anyway, then you're telling the seller, hey, you're going to get your interest regardless because we factored it into the purchase.
Got it. Okay. So potentially, like, let's just say it was listed at 500,000, but you want to do a Morby method, so you increase it to like 550, something like that.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other like selling point, because you said that creative finance investors generally want to get into a seller finance deal for less, 10% or less. So
Right.
basically with this, you're saying, hey, I can give you that 20% and not cut you out on that. Then you, as an investor, bring in the transactional funder to make that happen and structure that promissory note however we all agree.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, cool. Because that's one of the things I've been struggling with is like the avatar or who is the person that this fits and how do I even identify them? So now I'm getting a clearer picture of who these people are
Right.
and what their motivations are.
So this would be an investor that's looking to buy this house. And the reason why I put hard money loan, DSCR loan, or conventional, because I've used conventional. Me and Antonio, when we went and bought a house, I have a HELOC.
Mhm.
I was able to go use my HELOC to fund, you know, part of the purchasing cost of the property. I've used it for rehab.
Yep.
The DSCR loan, say you want to keep the house forever. You say, hey, this is an appreciating market. This house is going to be worth a million in 5 years. So whenever I refinance this house in 5 years, the $40,000 balloon is going to mean nothing because I'm going to be able to pull so much more equity out of the house. She'll get her guaranteed um, amount that we agreed to, which has her interest factored in, and then I'll be able to get whatever equity that accrued over the course of that time, and then take that money and go buy more real estate, or just sell it. Hard money loan. Say this house needed some work. I don't intend on keeping the house. I just want to flip it. We'll just keep it for a year. Um, but I can get into this deal. I can bring a private money partner or private money lender to come in and do the rehab on it. And then I can make this $500,000 house as is. Um, the ARV would be 750,000, and I'll make 100,000 on the house after I put 100,000 into it. And then it didn't cost me anything out of money to actually go take over this house and flip it.
Hmm.
So you're zero money out of pocket. And where it would make sense for someone to do this is the fact is, say I were to get a hard money loan and buy this house this way, um, if I'm going to sell the house in a year, why would you put an interest rate to it? Why not just raise the purchasing price? Because they're not going to get much interest in 12 months.
Nope.
Hmm.
Not at all. Not at all. Not in a 12-month span.
Yeah.
That Morby method. I think Pace's been talking about that for a few years now, huh? A few years or so now. What is the company that he uses that fund those? He talked about a specific company. Do you remember, Caleb?
Um, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I can't remember. I remember he talking about some specific
I would
company that
say
will fund them.
my investor loan.
My investor loan. That's it.
Mm.
That's them. That's
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
But we've got DSCR lenders that can do this. One of the things that we do when we do these deals is we make sure that they know what's going on. Everything is transparent. They know we're going to put a second lien on the property. Um, the seller's going to um, sell or carry back the down payment. We just make sure that the mortgage company knows that their first position on this property. So they're going to get paid no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. it's always in real estate. It's always good to be in the first position. I get paid first.
Yeah.
I get paid first. I get paid first, man. That's
So,
all.
so Antonio, you've done a lot of real estate transactions. Do you
Yeah,
see where this could be a tool in your tool belt?
yeah. That's. I mean, I think real estate is like going into a candy store. You start to look around, you see a lot of things that's gonna catch your eye. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Everything's good. Everything good. So that's how you see it. That method there, I don't heard about it a time or two. It's good. I'm happy that you was able to break it down there, buddy. Break it down, language term, very simple. It's effective. It might not be something for the newbie,
Mhm.
but for the people who understand real estate, understand how to do this the correct way so they can have long term success, yeah, I think the sky's the limit. I really do, Caleb.
We're good. Maybe we'll do one down the road.
Yeah. We are. Even this past year with me and you personally, I see us doing tons of things here locally. We're not like California. Our prices of houses are not like
It's a
Jackie.
little wild out here.
Jackie, can I ask you a question? What part of California are you from?
I'm in Southern California in LA County.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. We're here out of Shreveport, Bossier City. I'm not gonna say Harton because it's not even on the map pretty much, but I'm saying Shreveport, Bossier City, 3.5 hours east of Dallas, Texas. So that's how I got to kind of explain it for people who are not here. Um, for a 3 bedroom, let's say 3 bedroom, 1,700 square feet house, I thought in California. How much that house is selling for? I mean, a decent neighborhood. 3 bedroom, 2 baths, 1,700.
Yeah, like 1.2, 1.3.
Caleb, we ain't going to Florida. Well, I mean, we ain't going to California, but we stand right here. We gonna stay with our simple $250,000 houses here.
I know. I like it. I like those. I like
No
those
joke,
prices.
Jackie. 200 to Caleb. I think we sold Diamond next door. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Was it 1,650, 1,700 square feet? It's somewhere around there. We sold for 215.
That's just lovely.
But it's the same house. If I Google, anyway, it's the same house. So the market is so
It's so
crazy.
crazy. I know. It's so wild too because it's like before when I got into this like 3 years ago, I was like, oh, I'm gonna wholesale, and everybody's just like, do it in your own backyard.
Yeah,
But number one, my backyard's all. I mean, it's competitive everywhere, but it was just hard for me to be like these things. It's really difficult to find something at such a steep discount to where the numbers make sense
yeah,
to number one wholesale and then flip it. Like for example, I was just holding an open house for a guy who's flipped a house and it's a bit of a sticky situation now because it's not selling. And, he's got those holding costs and things like that. So it's like if you don't buy it deep enough and you can't sell it at a little bit of a competitive price to just get it off the market sold, it's a tough situation.
and Jackie, Caleb can confirm what I'm about to say because guess what? I said to everyone down around when it comes to flipping a house, even when we miss, we hit.
Hmm.
Ain't that right, Caleb?
That's right. We've not missed
Even when
one.
we miss, we hit.
Yeah, and that's the position you want to be in for sure.
Yeah. So if the numbers doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't even make it. It doesn't even make it to Caleb. It doesn't even make it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense to me, if I got, I'm just using an example. If I have to have that house at 150, and they're still asking for, I say 185 or something like that, I'm not gonna be one of those bad investors like, you know what, I can get them down to 175. I'm still gonna do it. I can't do it. I can't.
Mhm.
I can't do it because we don't flip so many houses. We know we need that extra money to get over the house, get over the hump. Because if something sits, we got to
Mhm.
have the me and Caleb got to have the ability to drop the price.
Right.
Versus a guy, I mean, he can't drop it. The most he can drop it is 10,000, maybe a five. So yeah,
Yep, that's exactly. Yeah. That's good. You guys are smart investors.
yeah, smart investor. We got to be like that. But this the Morby Method, Caleb. Yeah, we got to put it to action, buddy. We got
Yeah,
to put it to action.
yeah, I think so. Well, I want to leave everybody with this right here. If you find a deal, I want you to email me. at calebfunding@gmail.com. We can fund these deals all day long. Send me a DM on Instagram. It's at Caleb L Miles, or definitely email me for sure. And if you're interested in learning how to fund, scan this QR code because uh, we're always looking for people that that want to learn this and go out there and change their lives. So I want to thank you, Antonio, Jackie, everyone that came, and we'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caleb. See you later, buddy.
See you.